Alright everyone, welcome back to another Wash and Talk here in Automotive Anatomy. Man, talk about a busy last 2 weeks. Thank you for all of you who may have noticed that we didn't upload a single video the entire last week. That's the first time since 2019, I believe, that we hadn't uploaded. Back then, I don't remember how many subscribers we had. Probably had like from 10 to 20,000. And we went about 4 or 5 weeks without uploading anything, and that's because I was out of the country. And it's kind of hard to do a car interview when you're out of the country. But yeah, ever since then we've been uploading, I think, pretty consistent, and up until last week. But yeah, I'll get into the reasoning why we couldn't upload. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who may have noticed. As you guys can tell, Jackie has black wheels. We were in the middle of working on that video last week, and I just did not have the energy nor the motivation to want to upload that video. So it's kind of going to be backwards now that you guys see the wheels. You know, everybody has seen black wheels, but you guys get the point. Alright, so where do I start? Let me see. So on the video that I was working on, the plastic dipping the wheels, because it's plastic dip, it's not paint. I plastic dipped the wheels. They came out okay. There's some places where it got chipped off. I was rushing at the end because I needed to go, somewhere, and I couldn't leave the car on Jack's end, so I had to leave, and it you know how that goes. So that was one, and then afterwards I went to smog the car. Of course, typical fashion, Jackie did not pass, because apparently the EGR was failing, which I think it was a sensor. And then there was some other thing. I can't remember what it was. And so then I ended up taking it to Mata, and Mata was kind enough to help me. I think he replaced, what did he replace? I'm trying to remember. We cleaned the EGR, the runners, and yeah. Anyways, so he replaced something. I went back to try to pass smog. The guy said, yeah, it's doing better, but my machine broke. And his machine broke, I guess, and so he couldn't print out the results. Something like that. A little sus. And then I went back the following week, and the guy was like, yeah, the machine's still broken. So I was like, But obviously, that's just the smog. And so I'm okay with that. It's not a major deal. It is a pain in the butt to have to go back and forth to get it to pass and things like that. Sometimes I'm like, why am I doing all this? I could just do it in a different way and avoid all this. But anyways, so that's like the least of the important things. And you guys know I'm not big on sharing my really personal stuff, but some of you guys know that I recently became a father, and so for a second time, Chubs was my first son. Now we have my second one, and it's not that I'm not excited. That's why I don't post it on social media, or I didn't announce it here before. It really is because those are my most, I guess, prized possessions, if that's even a thing. That I don't share it. As you guys can tell here, the plastic dip, I missed the little side of the rim there, so there you go, a little trim of white there on the wheel. But yeah, that is the most important things to me in my life, right? My immediate family and what I do. And so that's why I don't really post. I haven't posted my son in any social media platform, not because I'm embarrassed or because I'm in shame, no, it's the whole opposite. It's because to me, it's the most important thing. He's the most important thing aside from my wife and Chubs. And nothing to anybody who posts their kids online. Kudos to you. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want with their life. I just choose not to. I'll post my cars any day of the week, all the time. They're just cars. But when it comes to my most prized possessions and my most intimate things, I always keep it to myself. And that's the reason why I hadn't really shared with anybody anywhere. But it adds to the importance of the story, because as you guys can tell me, he turned 1 month just recently. You guys can only just imagine the sleep deprivation that comes with it. And honestly, he's been good. He's been kicking butt at night. He'll maybe not sleep from like 3 p.m. to 8, but then by 10, 11, he's knocked out, and sometimes till 4 to 5 a.m. So he's sleeping all throughout the night. So no complaints here, by no means. He's healthy. He's freaking big, and I'm just excited to continue to see him grow. And I'm really excited when he's 15 that I can drive a car with next to him. So that's really, I know that's 14 years and 11-month gap that I'm waiting for, but I hate to admit it, but that's where I'm at. You guys know how I am. I'm gonna like justify any car purchase for him. Like, I'm already wanting a wagon, why? Because I have a son, so I need a wagon. Before, I had no real reason. I just like wagons. Now I have a reason. So just kind of adding to the whole story as with kind of the last 2-3 weeks. And then now if you guys were like, well, you had a kiddo for the last month and videos kept going. Yeah, like when I was in the hospital, I took my laptop and I was editing while my son and my wife slept. I was editing because you kind of have to look out after a newborn, so I'm like, might as well, it'll keep me busy. And so that's the reason the transition was not noticed, I guess you can say. Now the reason why I didn't post a video last week, I could have done this watch and talk and kind of have it like that, but then again, Chubs being my little one, was it 2 weeks ago, I noticed that his back was a little off. And really, we don't take him to the vet that much because he's really healthy, like really healthy. But I noticed that his back was a little like in a weird positioning. He wasn't walking as well as he usually does. He definitely wasn't jumping. So it was hard for him to go down the stairs, and that's not him, right? And there's one thing about Chubs: if he doesn't eat, I get really worried because he's like his dad. I eat all the time. So he didn't eat. And that's when I was like, okay, you gotta do a vet appointment. So my wife ended up taking him to the vet on a Wednesday. And then she's like, hey, they did some exams and they found this big tumor on his spleen. So right away, what's a spleen, right? I Googled it. I was like, what the heck? I was at work and I was like, what the heck? So that Wednesday night, I was just kind of like, damn, right? Like it's just, what do you do? Thursday, I was like, well, let me, the original vet where we usually go, they didn't have somebody to do the ultrasound for them to determine whether surgery was appropriate or not. They're like, hey, it's gonna be like in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'm not waiting 2 weeks, So I took him to the ER the next day, so on a Thursday, right after work. They did the ultrasound. The doctor, she comes out and it's like, yeah, it's pretty big, especially for his size. So it's like, and she used the term ticking time bomb. It's like he's like a ticking time bomb. And I was like, damn. I felt bad because I had seen his stomach kind of like grow on the side for years, and I just thought, well, it's just Chubs, eats a little bit more. I don't know. So anywho, that Thursday I was like, okay, I was super bummed out. Friday we called to make an appointment. They didn't really get us till Monday, so Monday morning. So obviously that weekend I was scheduled for 2 interviews, or one interview for sure, and the other one I can't remember if it was an interview. I don't think I even wanted to interview anything. I think there was a car meet, and that was the same, obviously it was the same weekend that rained. So I take that back. Yeah, there was 2 car interviews. It was an Integra on Sunday, and it was a Datsun on Saturday. So what happened was, I still had to be polite. Thursday I DM'd the gentleman, hey, I can't make it on Saturday. The guy from Sunday, he actually DM'd me like, hey man, it's gonna be raining, I don't know if we can still do it. And I said, hey, perfect, I got some personal stuff going on, I was gonna cancel on you anyway, so thank you for reaching out. So that's 2 interviews that would have gone, and honestly didn't matter. I don't know, I hadn't felt like that in a bit. Like, just nothing mattered at that point than Chubs being okay. And he's 15 years old, and yes, he's a dog, for those who may be thinking like, who's Chubs? But only a few people will understand how important he is to me. into our family. So if you're sitting here thinking like this dude's been talking about a dog this entire time, I'm checking out, no problem. I completely understand. It's not for everyone. Not everybody loves dogs as much as, you know, some of us do. And so for me, it was a big deal. You know, it was like, okay, I don't want to do anything else but this. So we were able to get him to get surgery, I believe, by a Monday. So obviously Monday morning before going to work, we dropped him off. The biggest concern that I had was I wasn't worried about him recovering, because, you know, the anesthesia, whatever you call it, or the anesthesia, that's some girl's name, the anesthesia. So that wasn't my biggest worry. The biggest worry was that the vet did tell me like, hey, we did like an ultrasound, and so far it shows good, but if I open him up and it has spread to the liver, I have to put him down on the bed. There's nothing I can do. I can continue. That was my biggest worry. Like, and the ultrasounds don't always show everything, so just giving you heads up, and that was my biggest worry. So a couple nights I didn't sleep. You know, cried a lot maybe, and then whatever has to happen. I'd rather give him that chance. I personally don't believe in complaining on how much something costs if it's important to you. If it's important to you, the money shouldn't matter. And that's the reason I'm always drilling on this Washington Talks budgeting and living under your means, and having, you know, savings, etc., etc. Okay. So anywho, Monday happens, he gets surgery, it goes well. So I'm like, yes, I'm super excited about that. I'm happy. Obviously they kept him overnight just to continue checking him. But yeah, man, that was like the little roller coaster. Big shout out to the homie Easy if he's listening. One of the mornings I gave him a call. We're chatting about something else, and then out of nowhere I started crying. He was like, "What the hell? I thought you were cutting off." Then I realized, nah, this guy's crying. I was like, "Yeah, dude," and he understands because he's gone through something similar, and so that's the reason why I think he was the only one that I shared with. You know, on Instagram I'm pretty good about posting every day, blah blah blah, and then it just kind of, again, nothing seemed okay for me to do when Chubs was, you know, not okay. So he's back home. He's been back home for a couple of days. He is moving way faster than he should be. He's eating really good, and yeah, he seems really, really healthy. Again, I understand, you know, we all have expiration dates, but sometimes it's difficult to understand that when you're in denial, you know, and that's what it was. I was looking at him like, no way, dude, you're 15, you should have at least 3 more years. And the crazy part that if he does make it to those 3 more years at 18, I'm gonna look at him and be like, hey, you still have 3 more years. But the reality, that's not true, and the reality that applies to all of us. At the same time, it didn't affect me directly, not that I know of at this very moment. There was like I guess I'm gonna use the word massive shootout in some bar, maybe like 3 miles away from where I live. 11 people got wounded in some way or another. I think 6 of them got shot for sure. And so like you start kind of thinking like, damn, like that's really close to home, you know. Again, to my knowledge, I haven't been affected personally. I don't know if anybody that I know was nearby. So these kind of little things start kind of popping off, and you're wondering like, okay, you gotta start setting your priorities. What's the most important thing? What's important to you? And for me, it was just to chill. That was the most important thing. Today, at the time of this recording, it's a Saturday. I ended up getting a car interview in the morning. Completely different Datsun. That one should be, you know. I'm still deciding whether I put this video before or after. We'll see. You guys will find out. But yeah, it was kind of funky. And then and another sad news, that one did affect me directly. A gentleman that I interviewed a long time ago, Jay, passed away. I don't know the details, but it's one of those things that I didn't talk to Jay as much, but whenever I would see him, yeah, it was always positive. You know, drove a Civic EF, and yeah, that one did. You know, as soon as I read that, I was like, what? Like, this is not. Yeah. So, rest in peace, Jay. I mean, that's life, right? It sucks, and but that's the reality. The reality is that little bumps and hiccups come along the way. So so yeah, that's been my last 2-3 weeks. Not the worst in history, but kind of when I go back to just some of the Washington talks, I always tell you guys I don't have problems in my life. Like, my life is amazing, my life is good. Then these things arrive and they're an issue to me, And so now I'm better, everyone in my immediate family is healthy, especially Chubs. That Monday, that weekend before I sent a message to the whole family, explaining what happened, and they were all kind enough to stop by and cuddle with him for a little bit, and it was nice. It was nice, and it reminded me, like, maybe we as a family, we do that, but maybe we should do that more often, not just when someone's sick or something. So if anybody out there is dealing with something similar or worse, just send you positive vibes and love, and hopefully things get better, because it's rough. Wow, that was I think that's the most personal I've gotten with the Washington talks in a bit, aside from all my high school stories, getting rejected by the same girl twice or whatever. But and then on top of that, I did make a smart decision. It hurt a little bit, but I sold the BMW. I believe I sold it to a very good home, so I'm not tripping about that. To one of my neighbors, so you might even see him in the background here and there. Gentleman, he's a huge BMW guy, cool guy. He drove it. He had been bugging me for a bit, and he's like, "Let me test drive it." And I was like, whatever. I didn't think he was serious about buying it. He test drove, he loved it, and we came to a number. We're like, I'm not, selling it for a high price. You're not buying it for a high price. I think it's a good number, and so sold it and gave the first tank of gas on us, and he's a proud owner of BMW E30. Now I get to see it on the street every single day I leave to work. That's fun. I miss that car, don't get me wrong. I really like that car, but last Thursday I didn't have to worry about the street sweeper. So that was fun too. I just looked at it, I walked by the car, and I'm like, I miss you, but I don't have to move you today, I'm good. And then I moved my other 2 cars. So yeah, that's it. So you guys won't be seeing the E30 on my channel, not because I don't know it. Maybe our buddy wants to lower it. I'll tell him, hey, let's lower it on camera. But wow, just kind of wanted to give you guys a nice little update. I know it's only been 1 week of no videos, but it's it's been fun, I guess. But other than that, we're good. I appreciate everyone. I hope everyone's doing okay in your own personal lives, and thank you guys so much for the love and the support, and thank you for allowing me to just kind of share this with all of you guys. Until next time, take it easy, take care of your loved ones, and take care of yourself. Peace out, everyone.